Give me a seat. What a gentleman. What a gentleman.
There's a microphone for you guys.
Holy crap.
That's for you three to pass around, and they will.
Okay.
Woo.
One of you needs to hold it here. Anna, you can go first.
All right.
First off, guys, thank you so much for making the trip away from the arena to come out to here to join us for our little bit of English. You guys have amazing support here.
You've got some fans in tonight, that's for sure.
This lands.
Yeah. Yeah.
First, guys, we got to thank you so much for giving us such entertaining Dota throughout this whole tournament. It's been insane. Thank you so much. The Dota's been incredible. Thank you. Thank you. You're crazy.
Something to share, something like to share between all of us. I mean, just the fact, just seeing people being happy around, celebrating. Yeah, I mean, it's the reason why we play this game in the first place. It's about sharing, and yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah.
You guys seem to come into this TI with no fear and no nerves, and the kind of Dota you played was unstoppable, especially in that final. In some of those games, you rolled over Liquid, and they're a good team. But how did you play without fear like that?
Just put yourself in my shoes. I got no tail to carry me. If he's not on his D-Day, I got Thompson to carry me. And if he's not on his D-Day, I got Anna to carry me. And if he's not on his D-Day, I got Jerks. What can go wrong? And I've been trying. I've actually been trying to do some of these games, and it just doesn't work.
So last year, I know for a lot of you guys, you were saying that it took a while before it sunk in, except for you. You were telling everyone, this is real. This is happening right now. How is it this time? Did you do the same thing? Or did they already know it was real this time?
I think this year was the other way around for me.
Yeah?
I didn't believe it, and it still hasn't sunk in for me yet. So it's pretty insane. Yeah. It's freaking insane.
It is, man.
Were you worried at any moment in the finals? Because the first game, well, we were saying that you guys basically won 4-0. Because the first game was pretty much over, and then it didn't happen. But were you, at that point, did you think, or were you just like, oh, well, carry on, we'll ignore that, and we'll just get on with it?
I mean, I wasn't worried at all. I knew we kind of won the first game, and I had my teammates to bring me back up, so I wasn't worried at all.
Good. Do you think that's something you would have been worried about a few years ago, and now you've matured as a player, and maybe I'm not going to say as a person, but you're certainly ready to deal with that kind of thing and just go, we can get back in there? And
yeah, probably, yeah. I'd say so.
Awesome. You had something to say?
Yeah.
What's unbelievable with this team, it's like, when we lose the first game, if anything, it makes us stronger. But when we win the first game, I mean, the other team is done, so mental fortitude, those guys, like those 5 guys, you can't break them. You can't break them.
Wow.
I wanted to ask you, Sochka, sorry if I get that name right, because they obviously win a championship, and then you come on board with the team. What is that like? Do you think there's pressure? Because this is already a championship-winning team. Are you coming into a lot of pressure, and how do you just kind of push through that and then somehow make them go further?
Well, imagine for me, it was, I could only get them done, it could be only worse. I mean, obviously now it's not, because we won it again. But yeah, it was really a huge pressure for me, So I'm super happy, it's unbelievable. What they did again, it's unbelievable. Those 5 guys, best team in the history.
Awesome. I'm going to hold this just to make sure that we're okay here. Okay. What else can we ask these guys?
So, I wanted to ask.
I mean, we're kind of overwhelmed ourselves. I mean, we just.
And I'm not trying to give you the how does it feel kind of a thing, because I'm sure it's insane and everything like that.
I want to keep it genuine.
Absolutely. So I had a fun one, I guess. If one chat wheel line had to come back again next year, you guys could spam, which one do you hope returns that you can kind of put back into your arsenal for, of course, your mental warfare? What's your best ammunition that needs to be there next year?
The best ammunition? That's a good ask, actually. What
I mean, Seb might have to return.
Yeah,
it has to happen now.
It's pretty nice, but we can't spam it enough to our taste. It's the weakest one. I mean, we can only use it once every 7 minutes or something. It's not good enough.
Okay.
What would it be if we had to choose one? It had to be one. I mean, for me or for all of us? Just all of us. What do you think?
The kookaburra? Is it a
Lakat, maybe? Yeah. Lakat?
Lakat? That's a classic.
Just back to the basics, you know. Like,
Back to
just
the
remember where we come from. And it's Lakat Matatak, you know.
I mean, a lot of people like to, just leading back to that, a lot of people like to say that you guys do win the mental warfare. Do you think that that's more for you guys to have fun, or do you actually play that as a tactic to your opponents, even if they're muting it? I mean, it looks like you guys are going beyond that. You're working with the sprays and the tips and everything like that. Is that a legit strategy for you guys, or are you just doing it to keep yourselves kind of chill?
I'm not exactly sure about how the saying goes in English. I think it's one stone, two birds or something. I mean, in French, we have this saying where it's like, it's going to be 2 hits with the same stone. And I mean, of course, it helps us a lot. It's mostly about us. It's yeah, we have this energy. We have there's a lot of, just raw energy that's, traveling between us. And we keep it going with the chat wheel. And we also know that it gets to our opponents. We can see it. I mean, at this level of Dota, I could I could guess how they're feeling, what's going through their heads, through how they're playing, right? It's the same with all of us, and it's the same for them. At this level, like, it's not only about just play, it's about emotions, and the emotions are very well connected to the game. So we can see when it gets to them. And obviously, it's something that we use against them sometimes, and some teams, it just doesn't work. It's both, but it's mostly about us.
You all right, Anna? You just tired?
Yeah, a little tipsy.
This is going to be like an insane...
That's champagne?
Yeah, I'm an empty stomach, man.
Oh.
What do you think would be the best meal? Like, what's a champion's meal right now? If you wish there was like a plate of something right in front of you. Could be anything. McDonald's, Chipotle, a giant turkey feast.
Oh, man.
What would be a champion's meal?
What would
And maybe
yours be?
someone out there might hear you.
Mine would be like just good Lebanese food.
Good Japanese food?
Lebanese.
Lebanese food.
All right.
Quite different.
Good Lebanese food.
Some Chinese food.
Chinese food?
I don't know.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
that should be not too hard to
I
get
mean,
for
we're
you.
I mean, we can make it happen.
Have you guys enjoyed Shanghai as a place to have a TI? Have you thought it was good?
I mean, for me personally, yeah, because I have like some friends that came, and it was a lot easier for them to come here. So that's why I liked having TI here. It was closer. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
I know you probably have a lot of fans from when you started your pro gaming stuff out here, but do you have any like haters out here at any point that you feel like it feels better to come back out here and kind of prove them wrong?
If I had any haters, like...
I'm just saying for a lot of people, when they're playing the game, I'm sure you have an immense amount of fans, but maybe you've had a couple of people who weren't as confident in you being able to succeed and go as far. Is there any part of you that's able to come back, on the home turf and kind of lay it down? Or are you just like a humble guy and you're like, I just let my game play for it?
I don't really care, so...
All right. I mean, it's working for you.
Yeah,
man.
no, I mean, I just play with my teammates, and I trust them with everything they say, so I just listen to them, no one else. I mean, yeah.
I got a question for you, Seb. And I don't know if you could extend this to the whole team. I don't know how much you've had time to speak to them about this. Which championship has meant more, the first one or this one?
I mean, the first one will forever be in our hearts, obviously. I don't want to put one above the other, but I think in terms of what we overcome together, this one was incredibly harder than the last one. And I hope they also realize it, like my teammates. What we have achieved here, it's not only we won TI as favorites, we might not have been favorites throughout the year, and that's for the community, and obviously it's understandable. But I can assure you that the second after our first game in this tournament, all the teams were looking at us. Yet we won the tournament. And that's something, I mean, it's been a while, Dota, it's been 10 years for me, or maybe even more. No one has ever come close to do it. You're not even the beginning of it. And today we've done it. And I'm incredibly proud of my teammates and of us as an entity. Yeah.
Amazing. Good answers.
The three-peat. Can it happen?
Yeah, do you think you can do it a
You know
third
it's going
time?
to be in Stockholm next
Like a hat
year?
trick?
Sounds hype.
I remember speaking to you guys last year, and we asked a question straight away. Are you guys going to go for it again? Do you think you can win it a second time? And your answer was sort of like, well, why not? But now you've won it once against all odds, in all honesty. This time you were the favorites, and like you said, even though everyone was gunning for you, you still won. What could possibly stop you winning it a third time?
Whether we want to go for it or not, I think at this point Of course we can do it. We could do it. Whether we want to go for it or not, I think that's it.
Whether you're still hungry for it a third time.
We can. I mean, this year we've built that hunger, so we can build it again. I do think that I look at great champions in sports, not to compare us obviously, but just generally. I think the step that you have to take from the first one to the second one is the hardest. I don't see a reason why the second to the third would be even harder. Even maybe the competition gets tougher, but it was the case this year. No, I think we did the big step. We did the big step. It's the way I look at it.
Awesome. Well, guys, it's honestly overwhelming because it feels to me like barely any time has passed since I was seeing you guys in Vancouver on the stage, helping Anna open a bottle of champagne, and everybody was just kind of overwhelmed. And you guys look very different this year to last year. This year you seem composed. You've had a little bit of time, but last year you were all just rubbing your hands and sort of, woof, like you just couldn't believe it. Does it feel like you've